The software of self. What is thinking? Is it merely electrical activity inside the skull? Or is it the invisible architect of who we become? Before opinions, before beliefs, before the sense of I, there was a single cell. From that single cell emerged a brain, a structure so complex that one day it would attempt to understand itself. But here is the deeper mystery. Does the brain knows how to think from day one? A computer arrives pre-installed with software. A baby arrives programmable. A thinking system isn't downloaded, it's built step by step. So, who builds it? From the first breath, the infant is flooded with light, sound, touch, temperature, hunger, millions of signals. No manual. Confusion is the starting point. First task, resolve this chaos. Survival begins with self-action. A face appears, a voice is heard. Warmth is felt. What is this? Am I safe? Slowly, programs form. Inputs are the sense signals receiving. Our mental task is processing the inputs to recognize and memorizing some. The output is the final conclusion of what was recognized. As a fact, visual cognition takes about 3 months to stabilize. Other motor skill networks develop in parallel, without formal guidance, without conscious instruction. The child learns. Crawling becomes walking. Reflex becomes intention. Through self-organizing intelligence, the brain builds its own operating system. These silent networks run continuously, waiting for input. This background activity of waiting generates a strange phenomenon, the feeling of consciousness. From consciousness emerges the sense of I, from I, the ego. By the end of the first year, something transformative happens. Language enters life. And with language, external ideas flow in. Ideas are not like sensory signals. They are interpretations, often packaged as truth. They arrive through parents, culture, religion, media. Unlike touch or light, ideas can be imposed. There is no choice to reject them, like a childhood vaccines. The developing mind, still plastic, absorbs them without resistance. They settle into memory for future reference. The psyche is no longer constructed alone. It becomes co-authored and indoctrinated. Beliefs solidify as truth. The foundation of adulthood formed. The brain organizes its thinking software to serve 2 sectors. The physical sector processes multiple sensory inputs to generate coordinated actions. Walking, driving, speaking are examples. With repetition, these motor skills become automatic. The mental sector processes external or internal ideas and generate thoughts, emotions, and decisions. Though physical sector handles multiple inputs simultaneously, the mental sector only focuses on a single input at a time to produce a thought as an output. That is why we struggle to understand 2 people speaking at the same time. Repetition strengthens thinking pathways. Just as practice, movement becomes reflex, repeated ideas become instinctive belief, often for life. Mind is a tool we use all the time. If we learn how to use it skillfully, like driving a car, then the life can be driven skillfully. Hence, it is important to understand our thinking patterns. Those who get to know this has an immense benefit. Let us understand these patterns. Daniel Kahneman, Nobel laureate, defined 2 thinking modes. Fast thinking is reactive, effortless, and mostly automatic. Slow thinking is deliberate, logical, effortful, and mindful. Most of life runs on fast mode. The brain prefers shortcuts. We assume, react, and defend. When doubt interrupts the shortcut, slow thinking engages to check, reason, and correct. Memory is searched more deeply. Ideas loop for revision. Clarity emerges, refined, but it costs extra time and energy. When awake, we recognize whether our thoughts are real or imaginary. The 5 senses that are active perceive reality. Our dynamic thinking process includes all the above elements. What happens to the thinking process when sensory and external inputs are absent? Sleep is one such state. In here, mental networks still run. With zero external inputs, thinking produce only zero thoughts. But during REM sleep, our memory acts as the input source. An internal signal creates a thought. That thought loops back, creating more thoughts, images, emotions. The feeling of I takes stage. It directs the script. But without sensory facilities, no reality check occurs. The thinker becomes the actor, director, and the audience. Bundle of reality fragments mix with imagination. When remembered upon waking, we call it a dream. Deep sleep is different. The mental networks shut down completely. No inputs. Not even from the memory, like in dream state. No thoughts constructed. No narratives formed. Consciousness does not come to be. The sense of I dissolves, just as it does under anesthesia. If the self disappears in deep sleep, where does the soul go? Does the self or the soul exist only when are the thinking program in use? Does the software we developed from day one projects the feelings of self, soul, and I? Is it logical to assume this? Think of it like an Excel program. We enter inputs, and it produces outputs. No doer. The processing happens in the background, unseen. In the same way, the self is the running aspect of the program we developed. It's not an entity, it's an action. Our brain and body facilitate thinking program to run. Self is a verb than a noun. Does the brain health deteriorate the quality of the self? Yes. Can a brain injury change self? Yes. It can drastically change you. Can drugs change the self? Yes, because our networks are biological. If the memory get erased, will the feeling of self exist? No. There won't be thoughts without past data to create self. I hope this video provides a clear understanding of how we develop our thinking software, show how it functions, and how our psyche get conditioned with others' ideas. If you think deeply, you begin to see that self, soul, I, and me are simple words like other words, no different in structure from table, chair, apple, or sky. They are labels created by thoughts, not a sacred category, not a metaphysical exception, just another construct to be reckoned with. Thanks for watching.